You're tuned in to Oilers Nation every day with Tyler Yaremchuk, live every weekday on the Nation Network YouTube.
Good morning. Oilers going for 2 in a row as they roll into Columbus to take on the Blue Jackets. Let's get into it with the lead. The lead today is exactly that. You are in Columbus playing the Blue Jackets with a chance to win 2 in a row at a point where your schedule is about to get wildly difficult and you'll play Stanley Cup contender after Stanley Cup contender after Stanley Cup contender. But today you play the Columbus Blue Jackets, a team who on paper is nothing more than average, and the standings has been anything but spectacular. They are not good. They are very beatable. And there are not a lot of very beatable opponents coming up for the Edmonton Oilers. So there is pressure on this team to deliver today. We are live on the Nation Network YouTube where the chat is buzzing. Taking a look, Redman's in with the first comment of the day. He says, Oilers revenge game. Jackets about to be taken off and thrown in the basket. Let's go. Yes, the Blue Jackets beat the Oilers the last time these two sides met. We are streaming live from the Sports Closet studio. Check them out, sportscloset.ca. I hope you all enjoy your Saturday morning. Tyler Mulick says, somebody pass me the Baileys. Let's get this day rolling. He also adds, or maybe a little OJ and the Pilsner to get the day going. You know who loves a good OJ and Pilsner? Our friend Jay Downton. Liam's around as well. Whole crew is here on a Sherwood 4 Giant game day. Jay, you going OJ and the Pilsner this morning for the game?
Tyler Mulick is singing my song. Right now I'm crushing a coffee, so good morning, everyone.
Yep.
Sans Bailey's, but with a little vanilla creamer. But if I was cracking into a beer right now, probably would go with the OJ and Pill.
Ryan Osmond said coffee or Caesars, and John said a rum and Coke and a cheese bun. Whatever your drink of choice is this morning, get ready because we are about exactly half an hour away from puck drop. Lance says this is too early for games. And yeah, 10:30 comes at you quick. Waking up this morning and realizing how little time I had until we had to be ready to go live was not exactly a fun realization. It was a rude awakening for me this morning. There is some
Tyler, you'll be up at 6.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm already well into my day.
Yeah.
This is my afternoon coffee, actually.
That's a good point. Yeah, you're on your third cup of coffee of the day already. Liam's kicking around as well. Liam, you going straight coffee? You got anything special?
Like Jay, I have also been up because I had to get up and watch Bolton Wanderers beat Port Vale this morning, so that was big. But I've had a coffee, yes, just a nice French vanilla.
So a big win for your boys in Bolton,
and
then you could have a big win for your boys in Orange and Blue, all before like 1 o'clock today. This is setting up to be a nice Saturday for you.
This could be a big day, and with the way my bets went this morning too, hopefully they continue on that and. Maybe I'll go and find one of those Pilsners and orange juice Jay was just talking about somewhere around here to celebrate.
Joey, the backup optimist, says coffee is the way. Cheryl's watching from Alaska, where it's only 8:05 in the morning. And who else? Jeremy says, us BC boys are sleepy. Bag Milks in the chat as well with an all capitals, hammer the puck line. So there you go. Vibes are good. Oilers looking for a second straight victory. Original Posar is in and says he's been up for almost 6 hours, 2-hour leg workout, dog walk, drive wife to work, pregame prep. I mean, all the power to you, man. I would love to say I did pregame prep. I didn't. I woke up 8 minutes ago, ran downstairs into the Sports Closet studio, and got ready to go for today's stream. Oilers taking on the Blue Jackets. Before we talk about this matchup head-to-head, we're all going to be watching our friend Vladislav Gavrikov a little closely today. The Oilers
are really?
Oh, well, it depends how you look at it. He could be our friend, a potential future friend. In
we want to be friends with him?
I don't want to pay a first-round pick for Vladislav Gavrikov. But what I think is interesting with all of this is Boston was apparently the team who was all primed and horned up to go get this guy. They end up going a different route. They get Dmitry Orlov and Garnet Hathaway earlier in the week from the Washington Capitals. And then you heard, maybe Boston, there was the rumor that Columbus was one of the teams in on Chychrun, but they needed to move Gavrikov to get the assets to go get Chychrun. All of this to say, I wonder if the value of Gavrikov maybe isn't starting to drop off a little bit. And could it get to a point where he doesn't cost you a first-round pick? Maybe, because again, Columbus has no reason to hold on to this guy. The closer we get to the deadline, I wonder if there doesn't become a point where Gavrikov is suddenly a Kulak-esque addition. And I would take I would move a second rounder for Gavrikov. I just don't want to touch the first for him.
I'm probably with you on that too. He's obviously a good player, but the first round pick for me just gets thrown around so much for not guys who are worth it. There's probably 6 guys around this time of year that I would want to have done it for, and I think 3 of them have already been traded for first round picks. So yeah, if you can get a Gavrikov for what is that, second, maybe like a Nima Line or something, I think that's a very good deal for the Oilers.
Also, I need to correct something I said earlier. Again, it's early in the morning. I said the Oilers are going for their second straight win. Yes, they're going for their third straight win today. They beat the Flyers, beat the Penguins. Now they take on the Blue Jackets. They already have 2 in a row. Gavrikov is not going to play today. He's been scratched again for trade-related reasons. Jay, are you on the Gavrikov train?
Once again, this is the steady line that I will toe. If we get Gavrikov, what else are we doing?
Yep.
So, I'm either upset or okay with it, depending what else we did. So if we just go Gavrikov and we get like a depth, bottom 6 guy, then no.
OP says Gavrikov isn't worth a first, but please note he's been forced to play top pairing and top level competition with replacement level partners. He'd have easier minutes as a 2-3 FLD on the Oilers. And I actually think that's a really good point. You'd be bringing him into a much better situation than he's currently in. And that's probably the case with a handful of these rental D-men from around the league. So there's reason to expect that Gavrikov would actually look better in Edmonton than he did in Columbus, or than he does in Columbus.
Our jerseys are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. April in the Facebook chat asks,
I'm wondering if you can package, and I know he's not on Frank's trade bait board, but someone that's always intrigued me out of Columbus who would help bolster our middle ice would be a Gavrikov Boone Jenner package.
Yeah, there was one report that the Blue Jackets had thrown the flare kind of out to see if there was interest in Boone Jenner, and they didn't get a ton of reaction back. He's on a good contract, $3.75 million for 3 more years after this one. It's not like it would be an insane amount of money to take back. And again, if it's one of those situations where you can get Foegele and Puljujarvi off your books, then yeah, you could probably make the money work.
I can't believe I'm saying this. Do we want Foegele off the books?
That is a good point.
Yeah, I'm kind of there too right now. Where Foegele, he's contributing in a regular manner now, and do you want to get rid of him? Does it make you better if you get rid of Warren Foegele? It's a tough question. But then if you want the others to do something, then they got to sacrifice something because they have literally no money to play with.
Mm-hmm. Yes, going for 3 in a row. Original Puzar had his take. Someone else hopped in and said the second in Niemelainen is the most they'd give up. It was Spencer who said the second in Nemo is the most he'd pay for Vlad Gavrikov. Another name to keep an eye on in Columbus, but he's obviously not playing tonight because he's out for the rest of the regular season in all likelihood, is Gustav Nyquist. So again, maybe a situation there where if you get Gavrikov, you can get Nyquist thrown in, and maybe I'd be willing to, go.
All right. Okay. So we LTIR Kane right now. Not even the end of the season. What's that?
Well, that won't happen. But anyways, keep going.
Well, is he playing today?
No.
Okay. So he's still hurt. LTIR him. That gives us a space to bring on Nyquist because now we have the cap room to bring him on and then put him on the LTIR.
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm picking up what you're laying down.
Well, no. Original Puzar is in the chat, so I feel like we can get an answer to this question right away. I think you can just get Nyquist. You don't need to activate him when you trade for him. You can bring him over and keep him on LTIR the whole time. You don't need to put Kane on LTIR
but to get the benefit of the LTIR space,
but there is no
room for him on your payroll. So then wouldn't we get more LTIR relief if we have the ability to take him on because Kane's on LTIR?
No.
Or no, we're spending into LTIR.
Yeah, we're already in LTIR.
Hey, that's fair.
We're knee deep in it. Anyways, that would be an interesting idea. Is if you're working for Gavrikov, maybe you can get a guy like Nyquist, and then it's a forward to come help you. Be Clean says he has a list of the only players he'd give up a first-round pick for: Patrick Kane, Jacob Chychrun, Max Domi, and Sam Gagner. Hard to argue with that list.
I'm in on all of them.
The other two, I think obviously Sam Gagner, first round pick of your heart. Goes to Sam Gagner for sure. And Max Domi, like, no one's going to pay a first for him.
Calvian Bomber says Pronger and Datsuk probably both available out of Arizona. Yeah, they're putting together a hell of a team in NHL 12. Yeah, Shea Weber's in the mix there as well. Andrew Ladd, Brian Little. It's a good group they got going. Chris Pronger actually had a funny tweet about that, where he was like, welcome Shea Weber, like, can't wait to welcome you to the golf tee time we have, or something like that. It was good. OP has an answer for us. When acquiring an LTIR player, you do have to fit him on the active roster for one day before throwing him in LTIR. So you were right on that, Jay. The Oilers would, in that sense, have to LTIR Kane for whatever stretch, and then they could put Nyquist. I wasn't aware of that. So, yeah, you would have to. There are some more complicated cap gymnastics, I guess, you'd have to dance around.
Because what's the rule around the LTIR? How many is it? 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Like, someone has to be out for it to go on LTIR?
It's 21 days, I think. 21 days or 10 games.
Kane's almost a week, so you can go retroactive back a week, and you sit him out for 2 weeks. And we just acquired someone for cheap. Cheap as chips, as I like to say.
Mm-hmm.
Tyson says, I don't see the benefit of trading for a guy who's hurt and hoping that he might be ready for the playoffs. Seems like it could bite us in the ass hard. I think if you were 3 points out of a playoff spot and that was your only addition, was like getting Gustav Nyquist and being like, hey, he'll help us in the playoffs. Yeah, like that might not be a good idea, but I think the Oilers are in a spot where that would just be added depth come playoff time. And Nyquist is a guy.
Think about the acquisition cost was going to be nothing.
Yeah, so that's why I think you'd consider it.
Yeah, I think that's the intrigue around it.
And Ken's thinking about it because he's a former Red Wing.
Yeah. Another guy who's a former Red Wing on the block is Nick Jensen. We talked about him yesterday out in Washington.
I'd take Jensen.
There are some more trade notes from around the league, but it is a Sherwood Ford Giant game day today, brought to you by our friends at Sherwood Ford and their service center. Just a few clicks away. The link is in the description of today's episode. They got free valet service, pickup and drop off, or you can choose their Ford mobile service, and they will come to you. Over 51 service bays at the dealership. There's more than 51 reasons why you should choose Sherwood Ford, the Giant. Some notes as the Oilers take to the ice for warm-up. Evander Kane and Klim Kostin are both out tonight. Neither playing. We knew Kane wasn't going to play. Frank Saravalli said earlier in the week on our show that he's going to be out for a couple of weeks with a rather painful upper body injury.
Jesus, this makes too much sense. What are we doing?
I think
but you're not. Go ahead, Liam.
I was going to say, it actually is interesting around like the Nyquist thing. If the Oilers did have legit interest to like LTIR Kane just for that stretch, because it's 3 weeks, right? Or like 21 days or something like that.
Yeah, 21 days or 10 games, I think.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if they were like close on it, they would have. I don't hate that idea of just creating that space and literally just switching it to it.
Well, we have to be creative because we're at the cap. Like it's like we got to think of these things, right? So. I'm not saying Gustav Nyquist is the answer, but it's someone that could be serviceable that we can get for nothing given his situation. And Columbus. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I said no Kostin, no Kane, no Gavrikov for the Blue Jackets in this hockey game. Jack Campbell led the Oilers onto the ice for warm-up this evening. He has been struggling as of late. In his last 5 starts, he has allowed 19 goals against and has only been over a 900 save percentage one time in that span.
What is Vinnie doing on the second line?
Oh, that's just a DFO blip because the Oilers are going 11-7. So, Vinnie Desharnais is not playing on the second line. That is just to show... Well, what it shows here, Jay, is that the Oilers, like those bottom 6 lines there, McLeod with Fogle and Janmark, Shore with Ryan and Puljujarvi, they're actually the group that play together. And then that top 5 just kind of gets jumbled around throughout the game. Vinny is the 7th D-man. This is how the Oilers are expected to more or less line up in the hockey game with Campbell between the pipes. I'll start with you, Liam. Do you like the decision to give Jack Campbell a bounce back, or would you have ridden with Stuart Skinner again?
I guess with what's coming up, it's probably a good spot to try and get Jack Campbell back into some rhythm here. And just the way the Oilers played on, what was that, Pittsburgh, like you would hope they can put together a similar team performance and play well in front of Campbell and maybe a little bit more desperate in front of him, I suppose you could say too. So I stand the idea. I would like to see Skinner as well, though. But like I said, I get it with what's coming up after this game.
Jay?
I mean, yeah, I'm fine with it because, like I said, we got Boston coming up and some tough competition coming up. So it's good to try to. This is a game that we should win with or without Skinner. So starting Campbell, like in theory, it makes sense, but also like. We just went through this weird couple weeks, so it's like I just want to do whatever it takes to get the 2 points too. So I'm okay with it, but just like it's weird that I feel like we're in like a win now thing, but it's because we're playing Columbus. We got to get those 2 points. Like we're so close to being in the lead of the West, so like we got to, these are like in games we need to win. We got to win. So I want us to give us the best lineup to do so, but I'm okay with Campbell.
It really is crazy how close the Oilers are to the top spot in the Western Conference. Hey, I was definitely not paying attention to how that storyline's developed. But then you look and like Winnipeg only has 4 wins in their last 10. Dallas only has 2 wins in their last 10 as well. And I like going to Campbell tonight just because of everything you guys laid out. Like if you're a playoff team, if you want to be number 1 in the West, you beat Columbus with Olivier Rodrigue between the pipes tonight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you should be able to win with whatever goalie. So I like going with Campbell. Give him a bounce back against a team that cannot score. They have 11 goals in their last 5 games. They have struggled to find the back of the net so hard. The Oilers have 11 goals in their last 6 periods. Like, come on. The Oilers should beat Columbus no matter who's in net. So go with Campbell, let him bounce back, let him get some confidence, and then boom. You can roll with Skinner when the competition gets a little bit more difficult. But like you said, the Oilers are really close to the top spot in the conference, just 3 points back of the Vegas Golden Knights. And if you win tonight, I mean, take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard this evening. Dallas is playing Vegas. So one of those teams is not going to get 2 points. Hopefully it doesn't go to hopefully it doesn't go to overtime and one of these teams is held pointless. But Calgary is also playing Colorado, which again is an interesting spot where some team that's around the Oilers won't have a 2-point night. So there is a lot of pressure, I think, on the Oilers to get the job done this morning against the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's a big chance when you look at what else is going on around the league.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we all just kind of address that, like kind of surprising where they are considering what just happened in this last couple of weeks, but it's also a credit to what they were doing before the All-Star break, where they gained that momentum and they've lost once in regulation in the last like 15 or whatever it is. So yeah, I think tonight, this morning, I guess, is just a big opportunity to keep that momentum going into what's going to be a tough week next week again.
Joonas Korpisalo led the Blue Jackets onto the ice for warm-ups. He's actually been playing really good as of late. He only has 11 goals against in his last 5 starts. Korpisalo is really the only reason Columbus has been respectable as of late. 3-3-1 in the month of February. As far as special teams go, Columbus has the 30th ranked power play in the league, 20th in penalty kill percentage. This is how they're going to line up this morning. Boone Jenner centering a top line with Johnny Gaudreau and Kirill Marchenko, Jack Roslovic with Kent Johnson and Patrick Laine, Sean Corrali with Eric Robertson and Mathieu Olivier, Cole Sillinger with Liam Foodie and Emil Bemstrom, Goodbranson with Tim Burney, who is a guy whose name I've just said for the first time, Nick Blankenberg with Andrew Peak, Gavin Bayruth with Adam Boquist. That is not a good blue line. Connor McDavid should be victimizing this blue line and making them feel very, very bad about themselves.
Yeah, I mean, look what he took one too. So this one's probably a little bit weaker, and we got to get some revenge on Korpisalo too after what he did to us at Rogers Place. So bang 7 home tonight as well, or this morning. 10 minutes away from puck drop. Crazy.
Yeah. 10 minutes away from puck drop. Over 230 people in the chat right now as well, which is great to see. If you're watching, hammer that like button here on a Saturday morning. A bunch of you guys want me to keep the stream going throughout the game and do a watch party. I called the Golden Bears game last night. If you think my voice would hold up through a 2.5-hour stream, you are unfortunately mistaken. You can probably tell.
We should
already.
do one. We should host. We should do a live stream from the office here soon, Tyler.
I know. We'll get there after the trade deadline. There's so much going on with the trade deadline.
I agree.
Speaking of which, let's talk about a couple pieces of news. And this one, give me a second to just kind of lay this all out, because I have a comment in the chat that I want to address with it. Elliot Friedman, 45 minutes ago, sent out a tweet on Patrick Kane and the New York Rangers. The last 24 hours or so have been about lining up everything from cap situation to third-party trade partners to roster machinations to Kane's approval. That was a word I was not expecting to after reading this tweet. He basically says the last 24 hours have been about making sure everything is lined up and nothing gets messed up in the process of Patrick Kane becoming a New York Ranger. And we had a comment from Shane on Facebook who said, if Kane goes to the Rangers, Holland failed. Someone else was in the YouTube chat and said that, someone else said, Holland, it's a failure if he doesn't go get Patrick Kane. Okay. He has no choice. Like, Patrick Kane is choosing where he goes. If the Rangers said, we aren't interested, we can't afford you, whatever, then yeah, the Oilers would have a realistic shot at Patrick Kane. Apparently Kane and Keith have had conversations about what it's like in Edmonton, all that stuff. But Patrick Kane wants to be a Ranger. He has a full no trade clause, and he is only presenting the Blackhawks with one team at a time in which he'll go to. That team right now is the Rangers. So unless something absolutely falls apart in these negotiations, with, according to the tweet from Friedman, it really doesn't seem like they will. Patrick Kane's going to be a Ranger, and it's of no fault of Ken Holland's. He couldn't do anything in this. So I get there are a lot of things you could blame Ken Holland for. Not getting Patrick Kane is unfortunately not one of those things.
Yeah, like you said, Patrick Kane has all the control in this. Ken Holland can only show that the Oilers, and hopefully Patrick Kane allows it to go further than that. But unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. I think Patrick Kane would have been fantastic on this team, obviously. Hopefully there's something else they can do.
We can get salty about not getting O'Reilly, Achari, Tarasenko, Mikala. Like, that's legit. And those are all trades I think, we should have attempted. And Orlov Hathaway. Like just like those three packages that went first, like those each and every one of those would have fit the Oilers for different reasons. And that's what we should be upset about. Kane is out of our control.
Yeah, it's like you said, that's perfectly put. It's out of our control, out of Ken Holland's control. Pierre LeBrun also sent out a tweet today saying it sounds like things are heating up on the Timo Meier front as well. So what we're keeping an eye on there is not necessarily the Oilers potentially getting him, but it's more so from an Oilers perspective, hoping the Golden Knights don't get him, right? We want Timo Meier going to the East.
It's going to be the Canes, I think. You listen to Tom Dundon on Frankly Speaking, like, he basically just said, like, we're going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah, if you haven't had a chance to listen to Frank Saravalli's new podcast, it's an interview series. Look up Frankly Speaking with Frank Saravalli, wherever you get your podcast from. His first 5 guests have been Todd McClellan, Zach Hyman, who he sat down with for half an hour and had a great conversation. Then it was Kadri, Morrissey, and Canes owner Tom Dundon. So 5 episodes into Frankly Speaking. It's really, really good. Before we keep moving along, got to give some love to our friends at AMA Travel. 2 spots left on the nation vacation to Toronto coming up in just a couple of weeks. The trip,
Tyler, I got an update for you.
It's sold out?
It's sold out, baby.
Oh, look at that. Well, too bad, everybody watching.
You've been spreading the good word too. You've been spreading the good word, and we filled the last 2 spots. So
that is great stuff.
If you do the next one, folks, stay tuned.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because the next one I'm sure will be fantastic. So shout out to AMA Travel for helping us sell out another fantastic nation vacation. You can still head to nationgear.ca if you want to party with us, because our 15th anniversary birthday bash, whatever we're calling it, tickets for that are up now, $20.07. Get it? Like 2007. It includes a drink token in there.
Prepaid drink, yes.
Yeah, prepaid drink is
the terminology.
Yeah, I was going to say, I need to make sure I get that right. You're also going to get a limited edition piece of Nation gear with that bad boy, a swag bag, and just an all-around good time. So check that out, nationgear.ca. The proceeds are going to what charity, Jay?
Free play for kids.
There you go. Nationgear.ca is where you can get your tickets there. It's coming up on March 18th. You'll be at the pint with us. We'll be watching the Oilers hopefully beat down on the Seattle Kraken. Some conversation here in the chat we'll get to really quick. Spencer says Canes are Devils for Meier. Yep. Tyler Mulick says, we need to be better than the best East team, not just the best West team. We want a cup, not just a finals appearance. Yeah, I think that's a perfectly fair point, and I do expect Holland to add something. It's not like he's going to sit there, and if no one in the West does anything, I don't think Holland will sit there and be like, well, I don't need to do anything either. He'll do something. Be clean.
Not enough, Tyler.
I know you need more than that. Be Clean said, bring home the suburb boys, Noah Gregor and Matt Benning from San Jose.
Why not?
I like the Noah Gregor idea, but Matt Benning, I don't know. Tyler Mulick says, pint downtown or pint on white. Pint downtown with our boy Rick. Ryan Osmond says, biggest question in the morning, how were those veggies last night, Tyler? They were fantastic. They were very, very good. If you know me, then you know. Let's get to our Betway bets for this evening because we are less than 10 minutes away from puck drop. Jay, congratulations. You're in the win column. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club.
I did it.
Shout out to our friends at Betway. Jay finally has a dub. He is only down 4.5 units. He's cooking.
Respectable down units. It's a respectable amount. And after tonight, it'll be even better. Or this morning.
I'm going to go with a Zach Hyman goal tonight. I'm on a bit of a losing streak here. I'm trying to keep myself. I guess I'll be in the positives no matter what happens tonight. But I like a Zach Hyman goal tonight. He's gone 6 straight games without scoring. I think this guy is due. He did have a streak earlier where he went 9 games without a goal. But the point is, I think Zach Hyman's good to get the offense going. Oilers should get some power plays tonight. Hyman is that net front guy. He is due. Give me a Zach Hyman goal plus 115. Liam, what do you like?
I'm going to go with a puck line for the Oilers, minus 1.5 at minus 112. But I think the line actually shifted even closer to even money whilst we've been on the show. So maybe you can go grab that at a little bit of plus money there too before puck drop.
There you go. Jay?
Yeah, this is. I didn't want to play with the over because I didn't know how stingy this game's going to be. But it seems like Connor is, back to his usual antics after that Pittsburgh game. So, very safe with the Oilers money line, and McDavid 2 points. Like that's just what happened. So, 2.87 to 1.
There you go. Someone in the chat said, "Why don't we do a Connor McDavid hat trick at I think 22 to 1?" Hey, that's not bad.
Oh, I'll do that as a fun bet for sure.
Yeah, a little fun bet.
Sure.
Rusty says Mick Hattie is going to strike in an Oilers 5-0 victory. Genesis pointing out that yes, Liam is in the lead when it comes to our challenge. Lance is all in on a Derek Ryan goal. Be Clean says it feels like a JP and Nuge goal kind of morning. Shout out to our friends at Betway 19+. Please play responsibly. Shout out to our friends at Sherwood Ford the Giant who sponsor every Sherwood Ford Giant game day. I'll be ripping around in the Nation truck this evening as well, going out to call another Golden Bears game today. So if you're in Edmonton and you're looking to support some good local hockey, it is really good hockey down at Claire Drake Arena, and it's playoff hockey at Claire Drake Arena tonight. So swing by, say hi to me down at the Drake. Gents, it is 10:30. That means puck drop is right around the corner, and that means it is time to wrap up today's show. Shout out to everyone watching on the Nation Network YouTube. Do us a solid before you sign off and hammer that like button as well. Enjoy the game. We'll be back on Monday when it will only be 5 days until the NHL trade deadline. We'll chat with you then.